Part 4. Be a leader. How to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. 1. If you must find fault, this is the way to begin. This chapter discusses effective criticism delivery techniques based on psychology by Carnegie. It shares anecdotes from former President Calvin Coolidge and former President William McKinley. Coolidge praises a secretary's appearance and punctuation, then criticizes her for not being careful. McKinley praises a grandiose speech, then instructs the writer to rewrite it according to his notes. This method reduces the risk of hurting the other person's feelings and is compared to how a dentist begins his work with anesthesia but still gets a drilling. 2. How to criticize and not be hated for it. This chapter discusses the method of criticism, focusing on Charles Schwab's story of giving cigars to employees who smoked at a place with a no smoking sign. Schwab appealed to the human urge to feel important and criticized them for their wrongdoing. Carnegie also emphasizes the importance of word choice in criticism, suggesting that the use of but or and can make a difference between offending or gaining enthusiasm. For example, parents can use and instead of but to encourage their child, resulting in a more effective method of correcting mistakes without hurting feelings or arousing resentment. 3. Talk about your own mistakes first. Carnegie advises discussing one's own mistakes before criticizing another person. He uses the example of his niece, Josephine, who was 19 and had no business experience. Carnegie wanted to criticize Josephine but had to stop himself. He remembered his own mistakes and calibrated his response based on Josephine's lack of experience. This humble approach improved the situation and didn't hurt Josephine's feelings. Carnegie's point is to always remember and discuss past mistakes before criticizing others. 4. No one likes to take orders. Carnegie's chapter explores the concept that being a good leader doesn't necessarily involve giving orders to employees. The story begins with Miss Ida Tarbell, who interviewed a former employee of O&D, Young, who never gave direct orders. Young's approach allowed employees to make their own decisions and learn from their mistakes, allowing them to improve and learn from their craft. Carnegie believes this technique is an easy way to correct errors and create a sense of importance. 5. Let the other person save face. Allowing the other person to save face is crucial in correcting mistakes without causing resentment or ill feelings. This approach is effective in situations like reprimanding employees or dismissing them. Carnegie emphasizes the importance of understanding human emotions and allowing the other person to save face, as demonstrated by the General Electric Company's situation with Charles Steinmetz. 6. How to spur people on to success. Carnegie suggests that training dogs with praise, treats, and pats can be applied to improving others. Pete Barlow used this technique, using treats to reward obedience even at slight improvements. Psychologist Jess Lair emphasized the importance of praise in motivating people to succeed. Carnegie also cites Charles Schwab's quote, "Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise," emphasizing the importance of providing credit where credit is due, even at the slightest improvement. 7. Give a dog a good name. Carnegie's text discusses the problem of declining productivity in an excellent worker. He suggests that he should not resort to firing or berate the worker, as neither will solve the issue. He shares an example of a service manager who praised an exemplary employee for their past performance and then expressed disappointment with their recent decline. The employee responded by stating that he was not conscious of the decline, leading to a resurgence of productivity. 8. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Carnegie's chapter begins with a story about a bachelor friend who struggled with dancing lessons for 20 years. His previous teacher criticized his dancing, leaving him disheartened. His next teacher praised him, making his mistakes seem small. Carnegie teaches that when it's in our interest to help others improve, it's our responsibility to avoid judging them as stupid or wrong. Instead, we should be liberal with encouragement and trust their ability to succeed, providing motivation and drive for improvement. 9. Making people glad to do what you want. In the final chapter of Carnegie's book, he shares an example of making a person happy about doing a task. He cites a 1915 situation where President Woodrow Wilson sent Colonel Edward M. House instead of Secretary of State William Jennings Bryan to speak with European warlords. House made Bryan feel important by mentioning that his presence would attract attention, which satisfied him. Carnegie also provides tips for leaders to change attitudes or behaviors, including being sincere, specific, exhibiting empathy, considering the benefits of the suggestion, and presenting the request in a way that highlights the key advantages.